Hi everyone, Steve Westman, live Audiophile Roundtable, the best Audiophile release of 2025 so far. News, picks, and rants. Bring them in. PBThal, Tim, University of Vinyl, Michael T. How are you guys? Welcome to the Roundtable, and everyone that's joining, welcome. Wednesday, and we were talking about best hi-fi cuts so far. We got to get right into it because just before we got on, we were talking about. Well, someone put it up. I have it, but I don't need to put it up. Put it up. Put it up. Black Sabbath, up? Rhino Hi-Fi, Paranoid. Put it up.
Yes.
I'll let Tim do it.
Now, Tim, you did a great video on University of Vinyl. You can give us your thoughts on it right away. I want PBThal to give his thoughts on it. Of course, Michael T. I will say the War Pigs. There's a lot of people asking about or talking about, is there that drop off, Patrick? And I think it's the first 45 seconds of War Pigs as you drop the needle on it. And I listened to it a bunch of times. I didn't pick up on it. I did talk to Kevin Gray, of course, cut it, and he's like, what are you talking about? There's no drop off there. But you did hear something else. So tell the folks at home what you supposedly heard on the War Pigs Rhino Hi-Fi.
Who, me or Tim?
PBThal first.
Well, I got, like we talked earlier, I got this yesterday. I played it. As I was listening to it, I thought, wow, this sounds really detailed. Very, there's elements there that I'd never heard before, and it was very, very different sounding. I thought, wow, this sounds good. But as I about halfway through side 2, I was kind of like got that MoFi feeling from like when I used to listen to mobile Fidelity stuff back in the day, where it just started I started getting my ears were kind of fatiguey, and it just seemed almost too much. And then I got my original UK press with the Big Bear credits, all that stuff, the one you want, the one you quote unquote want an OG. Listen to that, and it was like, okay, this one sounds almost like slow as molasses compared to the Rhino, and not necessarily a great way either, So, but it had the thickness, it had the full body to it that to me that the Rhino Paranoid doesn't have, and the Rhino Paranoid it feels like the mids are just boosted so much that it makes the guitars sound very crisp and the toms sound incredibly crisp. And like I said, there was a percussion piece in War Pigs, I think, I can't remember what it was, that in the channel that I never heard before. Just a little bit of like little bells or something. And I was going, wow, I never heard them. But at what cost do you get that detail? The cost is the lower octave and the fullness of the sound. So it's a trade-off, if you like the energy that the Paranoid brings, then you're all in. If you prefer the doomy, sludgy type sound of the original, then there's that for you too. So that's just my take on it. First impression.
Tim, you did a great video on your channel, University of Vinyl. Your impressions when you dropped the needle on Rhino Hi-Fi's Paranoid. I loved your reaction in the video. You loved it.
I have an original. I just turned it into a record shop today. I had an original Santa Maria Greenie, and then I had this kind of weird novelty blue pressing from 2016 that was Sean McGee. Actually, I was hoping it would be Kevin Gray. It wasn't. I thought that I think it's amazing. I do kind of hear what Patrick is saying about the fatiguing a little bit, but honestly, that's kind of the house sound, I think, on these right now. Everything is amped, and with that, you're getting incredible detail and clarity. Like I said in my video, War Pigs, Bill Ward's, after the air siren, the cymbals in the right channel, that is barely discernible on my OG Greenie, and it was just like really nice and clear. Anyway, so I'm happy with it, but I do hear kind of what Patrick says there, but and I've never heard the UK
and the drop off on the War Pigs. You're not noticing that?
I didn't hear the drop off. I
I thought there was supposed to be some kind of a volume bump, not a drop off. That's what other people have talked about. But anyway.
I've read drop off in some posts, but
Yeah.
I took it right to Kevin. What I did is I recorded both of the Rhino Hi-Fi in my 2006 that he did, and he's like, "What are you talking about, Steve? I don't hear it, and I don't know what I don't think there's a drop off on this." I'm like,
What is
fair
this
enough.
drop off you're talking about?
Yeah, and then I was going to say in the 2006 Kevin Gray Paranoid cut. I mean, Michael, we talked about this. There's just like maybe a quarter of the dead wax left, and if you look on your Rhino Hi-Fi cut, there's a lot of dead wax. So I asked Kevin again. I said, "So what is the reason for that?" And
Quarter
Michael
of an inch,
yeah,
a
quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's more dead wax on the Rhino Hi-Fi because it's a different computer that he used. I believe he used it's called a DJR computer, which cuts a lot tighter than his old computer that tracks the head as well. So that's his reasoning behind that, where there's more dead wax on the new one. So just little details here. I just wanted to know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I went,
it's
you
a
know, right
computer
as we were starting, I went and I grabbed I have an original. And here's a funny story. I forgot about this. It says here, this is no longer the property of King County Library System. I bought this when I was about 12 at a King County, which is Seattle, book sale. And look how clean it is.
It looks like in good condition, doesn't it?
It is, yeah. And it's got the artisan stamp. I haven't played it much though, because I always found it to sound kind of slow and bloated. You know, even though
have you ever seen that Seinfeld episode about the library cop? I just see him knocking on Michael's door, like going, "Hey, you check this out in 1987, Michael T."
The original, I think it was 81, 82. I bought this. Yeah. Anyway, but I did notice as Steve was talking about that the dead wax is only maybe a quarter of an inch on the previous Kevin Gray cut, maybe half an inch on the original. So that explains it. If they have different computers that are telling the preview head what to do, that makes sense.
So John Benny, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. John Benny made the point. So
what's he saying, Patrick? Read it out.
So yeah, so I noticed there seemed to be a little bit of gain writing on that. So it wasn't a decrease; it was an increase.
Right. I don't have a Vertigo, but I did compare it on the weekend at a friend's place that has the previous Kevin Gray cut, and the new one does sound much better than the previous Kevin Gray cut at Acoustic. I do have a friend that has the Vertigo, so we're gonna listen to that later this week. And then Patrick, you like the Vertigo the best, right?
Well, I mean, it's what I'm used to, and it's what, like I said, it's two different. It's almost like it's two different bands at that. You know, like I said, the original is very, very, very sludgy. Like I said,
yeah.
The Rhino's like very, very fast. I mean, it's just like so detailed. It's almost like a whole different vibe. It is a whole different vibe. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's just different.
I mean, it sold out in 12 hours. I mean, it did really well, and I think it's worth every penny of it. And hopefully,
I want these reissues to be great. You know, I mean, I'm rooting for them. You know, these records should be in print.
I'm hoping for more Sabbath.
You know what? Planet Caravan sounds amazing on the reissue.
I will say that Planet Caravan was pretty freaking impressive, man. I was just like,
the tablets were going across the soundstage. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was really nice. I mean, definitely that was a standout for sure.
Yeah,
I like where they placed Planet Caravan in the track listing, right? So I mean, it really breaks up the other songs. It just really makes that first side really flow. But yeah, I think someone else mentioned. I was looking at Christopher was mentioning. He didn't hear anything either. I agree with him and Patrick. Mids and highs sound crisp.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I agree with that too. And I saw somebody mentioned in the comments in a forum that Paranoid has more bass than they've ever heard before.
I wouldn't go, no way. No, yeah. I would not say that. I would not say this Rhino is very, very nice to Geezer Butler, so to say the least. This is not a very bassy, and like I said, I'm used to the Vertigo, which is very bass heavy, and this is not bass heavy. So if you've never heard the Vertigo, then you probably just don't even give a shit. You don't care. So,
I'd say the mids are better though than my 2006.
The mids are well. I mean, he definitely raised the roof on the mids there. I mean,
absolutely,
obviously.
And he didn't have his notes from the 2006 that he did as well. So this is purely just using the tape in his. Now
I do wonder. We mentioned this off air earlier. The new issue has the Trident original master tape box from the UK. I wonder if for the previous issue did he use the US 1-to-1 copy, the safety, maybe the production copy.
So I asked Patrick Milligan from Rhino. I said, I've gotten some people asking me about the Trident. Tim put it up there. Let me just show everyone probably knows, but we'll put it right up. The Trident Studios tape box. And I said, is that the tapes that were used to cut the Rhino hi-fi? And he wanted to get back to me on that one, so I didn't get the answer yet. So I don't know. I don't want to assume or make any false statements here today, but we'll have to see. And Christopher, I again, yes, hang on, I have it.
I was about to mention that. Yeah, I heard the Alice Cooper on the weekend. I don't own it, but I heard it.
Love it to death. Is absolutely a killer. And when I did my Rhino reveal, I was really blown away by this one as well. The clarity in this record and what you're hearing and what in it's. I mean, if you're not a big Alice Cooper fan, I get it, but I'd say buy this record, and I think you might turn into an Alice Cooper fan. It's a really great sounding record.
And they went with the uncensored cover, right, on that one.
This is the uncensored cover.
I see.
With the thumb, yeah, right.
You know what they could have done? They could have done all the versions of it. They even had like the version that has like the bands below and on top. They could have just do that like picture disc, where you can sit there and just get different. They could have just like tripled their sales and just gone different versions.
Yeah.
Master of Reality next. Let's hope that'd be wicked. Get that out of the way.
The Chris Bellman Master of Reality from VMP is really good. So.
Yeah. And that I'm going to assume if they ever do Master of Reality, it's going to be the same tape.
Somebody needs to do Volume 4 and do it right. I mean, the originals are not that good to begin with, and that was cut by George Peckham.
I was going to ask you. Okay.
So that was cut in the UK, Peckham.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the original, but even the US doesn't sound great. The UK doesn't sound great. So that one could use some love for sure.
Before we move on to picks, I forgot something. Josh from High Fidelity Records, we wanted to show his top 5. Let's do that. I forgot to do that at the very beginning, so I saw Josh there. Let's just do that. So highfidelityrecords.com or high-fidelityrecords.com, buying and selling record collections. Great website, good stuff there. Check out his website. Now I'm going to show you guys his picks of the week and tell me your thoughts on them, and we'll go through it here. Let me find them, and then we'll start with this one here. This would be, it is Original Asia. We all have that, huh? I mean, most of us have.
That's a Japanese jacket, though.
See, this is the. Which one did you say this was?
Okay,
this is the AB Steely Dan is what it is, I believe.
Is there an episode of the show that we don't mention Steely Dan's Asia album?
Well, I wasn't going to mention, it just came up. And then
Josh didn't even have to be here.
David Crosby, If I Could Only Remember My Name, the MoFi 2 LP 45 RPM. I love that record. I mean, this was actually one of those ones that wasn't a DSD gate. It actually was cut from the analog tapes, one of the very few, and at 45 RPM. That one's in stock. And then I think he's got, who are Dead Can Dance, Spirit Catcher, MoFi. This is a two LP as well. He has that in stock. And then check this out. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. This is the Damned Torpedoes. This is the Chris Bellman 2017 cut all analog using the ORG music plates from the 2010 reissue of the album. And then he has...
If they're using the plates, then he didn't really cut anything, did he?
Well, I guess, did he cut it the first time around for ORG? Is that what that means? I guess that's what it means.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't have the ORG.
And then Blood on the Tracks, 76 Japanese pressing. So yeah, check out, again, highfidelityrecords.com. Check them out.
Cool.
Wanted to give him a plug there. So what did you guys bring today? I mean, we got, some of the top audiophile reissues of 2025 so far. I mean, I can tell you from the ones that I have, obviously Black Sabbath, Rhino Hi-Fi I really like. The Alice Cooper that just came out sounds great. The Katie Lang Ingenue sounds amazing as well. And again, I'm not trying to be biased, and obviously I've had them all on, but I do believe those sound really good and really good records to pick up if you can. I mean, obviously the One Step's a little bit more expensive. Is that one even taken out of the...
I opened it and listened to it. Yes, I just let the shrink wrap on. Yeah.
So, what did you bring, Tim?
I'm going to call this an audiophile record, and this is a repress of a great Gillian Welch and David Rollins record.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? The Hero and the Harvest. This is a new pressing that came from the plant in Denver, just down the road from me here. Paramount Pressing. That's the one that was supposed to be, you know, the whole scandalous Vinyl Be Please plant. But this is a really incredible pressing. They're using high quality. It's some kind of a translucent vinyl compound. This thing sounds amazing. I don't have an OG, but they've done. This is you probably can't see through here, but really heavy duty. I think these are done at Staunton as well. And they're
Doesn't
like,
she record usually all analog, most for stuff to tape?
oh, he's got a Neumann lathe. He does the mastering. David Rawlings, yeah. Yep. Anyway, really, really well done. Of course, you know, I'm gonna. I think this got mixed reviews.
Hold on, did you say weren't supposed to talk about Steely Dan?
We have to talk about the source material, you know, but I think this is the best this has ever sounded, or it's going to sound.
So this is Katie Lied, Steely Dan, UHQR.
Came out. When did it come out? Sometime in February.
Yeah.
Did this record come out this year, or was this last autumn?
Last year, like late fall, early winter.
2016.
The super vinyl. Well, the super vinyl repress is really nice. It's a 33. So if you don't have that one step, which is astronomical, and then the Paranoid. I mean, those are my picks. I have the Katie Lang. Apparently, it's shipped on Monday.
Yeah, you bought that.
I bought it from Elusive Disc because it was free shipping.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed. I mean, the digital sounds great. The 25th anniversary that Bellman did. So this one just has a little bit more detail, and especially being one step as well with that compound that they use on the vinyl.
I have one more, and this is kind of fun.
Ooh.
This is a vintage audiophile record that I picked up today for $3.
I have one of those to show everyone too.
Okay, so this is
Flock of Seagulls.
This is the second Flock of Seagulls, and check out. It's a Teldec DMM. This thing was dead mint. I've got a U.S. original. This is going to be my keeper, and it's a fun record. I like Flock of Seagulls, but a $3 German pressing out in the wild, always fun.
That's coming home every time.
Yeah.
So these are your best ones of 2025 so far, and I mean we're a quarter of the way through, right? So I mean we've got a lot more to go, and I know you know what's possibly coming out for Rhino Hi-Fi, so there'll be some good picks going forward as well for everyone to maybe grab. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, Michael, cookingvinyl.com, I believe, is the website, right?
Yeah, Cooking Vinyl sent us some material to review recently, right?
So show the folks what you got.
I know. I gotta grab it because I didn't have that one ready. I was gonna go to something else.
Well, I'm changing it up. I don't want you to be sleeping.
The one I recently listened to is Cowboy Junkies. Lights Off First Now, and this was cut at Half Speed Air in the UK
by John Weber at Air Studios.
John Weber
at Half Speed. So
yeah,
tell everyone why it's interesting. Because I'm holding up the Silver Label Mobile Fidelity right now. So tell me,
my version is on red vinyl.
So the Cooking Vinyl one that the Cooking Vinyl people sent us. What's the deal between the two?
Let me show that. It says on the back here, remastered by Sean Britton.
So they used the remastered file to recut it half speed by John Weber at Air Studios.
And Sean Britton worked for
Mobile Fidelity.
Mobile Fidelity.
Yes.
So this is almost like a MoFi cut at half speed.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is not a half speed, the Mobile Fidelity one that I'm holding up.
Yeah. Now my version was cut in Germany at Optimal, and it's a very quiet recording, and I couldn't hear a single tick or pop. It was dead quiet, and it's on red vinyl too. Both sides sounded incredible.
I thought it sounded really good.
Cooking Vinyl, UK, right?
Cooking Vinyls. Just go to their website, Cooking Vinyl. I was really impressed by it. The one thing about the Cowboy Junkies, a little bit of a Canadian connection. Patrick, they used one microphone, so they would go in a circle, They'd
Is that
actually-
Lorena McKiddit? Is that her name?
the
Lorena?
I think it's called the Calric
it was-
Ambisonic or something
No,
like that.
it was
microphone.
her name was Margot. Yeah, Margot.
Yeah, so they'd go in a circle. The drums that they would, they'd have, I guess, plexiglass, so the drums weren't drowning out everything else, and they record with one microphone, the Calric Ambisonic sound
Did they
field
do that
microphone.
Trinity, the Trinity album? Was
So
that
here's
them?
the thing. So
Same
Trinity,
thing, yeah.
and so Michael, on the back of the, so they used it for the Trinity sessions as well. But on the back, Michael, it's going to say something about digital. Can you just read that to the folks?
Yeah, let me go back and find it.
Digital is your friend.
It says captured live at Studio 547 on June 28th, 1986, on a digital 2-track using only a Calric Ambisonic microphone.
Full stop there. So the producer, actually, Peter J. Moore, said, you know what? Actually, although the album cover stated that it was recorded on a 2-track RDAT, well, that was the Trinity sessions, but again, the one that you're holding up, it was actually recorded on a Sony Betamax SL2000 video cassette deck connected to a Sony PCM F1 analog digital converter using that microphone.
And
So-
yeah,
so they
because in 1986, I don't think DAT came out yet. It was about 88.
So they used a PCM analog digital converter is what they did record
Yeah.
in that Betamax.
Beautiful sounding record, though. Beautiful
So basically, they had two betas and a microphone. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So Patrick, here's the thing. So in Mobile Fidelity back in, I think it was 2009, they came out with this. 2009, I want to say. They did an SACD version. Now, think about this. It's a 2-channel master tape, right? Using that one microphone. So there is no multi-track master to create the SACD surround track, Patrick. So what do you think Mobile Fidelity did to create a surround sound using a master tape from the 2-channel to the surround sound? What did they do?
AI.
You know what? This is a long time ago, but this is the beginnings of AI. They use something called GPS audio algorithm. So the algorithm probably just picked out all the instruments and the sounds, and they were able to, just like I guess it was with the Beatles stuff that they remixed. It's sort of that same type of technology. So I think what my point is that Mobile Fidelity was sort of ahead of the game. They could have been remixing the Beatles records back in 2009.
I have to admit that I prefer less algorithms in my music than.
So the Cowboy Junkies has, it's an AI algorithm that they were to separate the instruments to make it a surround sound. I thought that was
Doesn't
interesting.
sound too audiophile is saying that my album was made with an algorithm.
Oh my God!
So
Did we just start another AI gate for MoFi? Oh
Uh-oh.
my God! I did it again.
I was just joking. I didn't realize I actually was being correct when I said AI. So
Yeah. It's called let me read it. Like I said what they said here, and on the actual, I guess, news when it came out, the news pressing or whatever. Let me see if I can find it now. Yeah, they said instead, Mobile Fidelity used the GPS audio algorithm to upmix the master tape from 2-channel to surround sound for this record. But yeah, I like the sound. If you're a big Cowboy Junkies fan, great sounding record, amazing.
I mentioned this to Steve. I saw the Cowboy Junkies in about 1989 at a place called the Moore Theater, opening up for Michelle Shocked. Do you guys remember Michelle Shocked?
Of course.
yeah,
Yeah, they were the opening act, and they had candles on stage. It was awesome.
The AP75 series release coming up is another Hathaway album. Does anyone know? Is that what's happening?
when's Close to the Edge coming out?
When's it finally done? Like how many more? There's 75 titles, right? So what are we at for that?
I don't know. I have them all.
I think we're in the 40s, I heard. So there's a few to go.
So a little bit more than half.
Yeah.
That's the only audiophile reissue stuff that I bought probably this year is that stuff. That's it.
It's all been good.
And that was actually one of the records I was going to talk about when we have time. I got one in the mail on Monday. Yeah.
That's all I have to show is AP75.
Yeah.
Katie Lang, One Step, amazing.
Well,
That
that's
your-
according
is
to that's according to Satan. Can we really trust what Satan has to
Can
say?
never trust
Come on.
Satan ever, ever.
So speaking of AP75, this one just arrived on Monday. Since when I was a
What is it?
teenager, I
Tell
was
us.
a big fan of this record, Foreigner.
That's a
Double
good
vision. And this smokes every single version I own. So I have a couple of original Sterling's US. I also have a Japanese one that says sample on it. It was a promo from Japan, white label. This was also using the Sterling plates. I have And MoFi issued this album twice. MoFi issued it once in the 80s. This is the 1980s version. And then they issued it again around 2011 or so, 2010. And again, the new one cut by Ryan K. Smith at Sterling just absolutely blows them all away. So, and that's been my experience with in general with this AP, with the Acoustic Sounds AP series. You know, they're all amazing sounding. I haven't had a bad one yet. Have you guys?
You know, I hate to be blasphemous, but Ryan K. Smith is pretty much the man, right?
He is, yeah, he is. Ryan K. Smith is the man. And at 45, these sound amazing. I want to get I've gotten the first two Bad Companies. I haven't gotten Running with a Pack yet. Do you have Running with a Pack?
I haven't. I haven't listened to it yet. I haven't listened to that one either. So
yeah,
Hot Blooded. How does Hot Blooded sound?
It sounds like I said. It sounds amazing.
Yeah,
the best I've heard it yet.
I said the only one of the AP75s that I've heard. I haven't listened to all of them yet. So that I've heard that isn't better than any other original that I found is the first Bad Company. Other than that, they've all been absolute. And the AP75 Bad Company isn't bad. It just doesn't sound as good as the UK Island to me. But other than that, man, they've hit home runs on every single one of them.
So almost everything that's come out in 2025 from the AP75 series has been a home run.
The 2014, 2024, the whole series has been a freaking home run. I mean, absolutely. I'm glad I signed up for the whole thing. So definitely happy about that.
What else did you bring, Michael?
Well, let's go to somebody else. I gave two.
Patrick.
Here. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll do a couple. So this one was a no-brainer for me. This is Fragile. This is the Atlantic 75. I mean, I have the UK Plum. What is it? A one step. I have the 2012. I've got everything. I've got every version of this that quote unquote you should have, and this is so freaking good. Absolutely freaking good. And I agree with you. I'd love to see Zebra's debut album, Audiophile Treatment. But yeah, this if you like this album, and I know this is like high school for me. This is like inside out, backwards and forwards, headphones on, towel in the door, pot in the mouth, and just like high as a kite, listening to this shit over and over and over again. And this never sounded so good.
Sorry, that's
never,
right.
Ever.
That's right now, or when you were a teenager?
Teenager.
Okay.
So yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
And this one probably gets vilified, but my God, this sounds good. I mean, I had low expectations for this, but man, this was really, really, really good. Absolutely stunning. And there's not a bad song on here. You know, even if you don't like Phil Collins, the guy was a freaking
Abacab, right? Abacab?
No, this is the self-titled. This one has.
I like
this one has Mama. That's all. It's got Home by the Sea. Second Home by the Sea. Really, really awesome record. Sounds phenomenal.
There's still some proggy elements on side 2.
Yeah, there's always Home by the Sea and the second part. We put them together. It's like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and I'm seeing in the comments, you guys, Donny Hathaway and Dusty Springfield are the next titles on AP75.
Yeah, that doesn't move the needle, but I'm sure it sounds great.
Which Dusty Springfield is it? Is it live in Memphis? Do you guys know? What's the next one?
I don't know what they're going to do.
Because I saw it's a Dusty Springfield title. And then Donny Hathaway. Reason I'm asking is because Analog Productions already did Dusty in Memphis. Double 45 once. So I'm wondering if they're using the same parts or they're recutting it if that's the one.
And someone mentioned the Zebra debut album. I think that was, what's that? Like that was early 80s, wasn't it?
81, 82?
81, yeah.
What was
that's
the song?
Fantastic record.
I want to say Slow Down or something. Was that
that's on there, but it wasn't a hit. Tell Me What You Want was a big hit.
Tell Me What You Want, and then they had a song called Bears also. But Tell Me What You Want.
That's the second album.
Bears, yeah. Tell Me What You Want was the big hit.
Yeah.
Tell Me What. Okay, yeah. And that's
Who's Behind the Door was a single as well.
Yeah, I have it in the back room. I was gonna go look for
That's
I don't.
Well, it's Randy Jackson, right? The lead singer would be Randy Jackson. Okay.
3-piece band.
Yeah.
Guy Gelso and Felix. That was his last name. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna. I mean, Phil Collins is Phil Collins is right up there in the '80s with like Prince and George Michael and Madonna and all those big acts. I mean, he was big back in their day.
So Steve, somebody answered the question. They're actually recutting Dusty and Memphis, and the person is saying they're adding 3 more
So
songs.
here we go again, saying recutting Dusty in Memphis and adding an additional 3 songs. Cool.
I may have to get that.
Oh, hang on. We have some debate here. James Wheeler, Patrick.
To my ears, yes, it's better than. I like the UK plum. I like the UK plum better than the one step. I like the UK plum better than the one step.
So you're declaring that better than the one step, yeah.
I personally declare that yes, the AP75 is better than the one step. I'm still looking forward for. I, Patrick, Vinyl PBThal, the vinyl archivist.
There you go.
I do solemnly swear that Fragile Atlantic 75 45 RPM sounds better than the one step. And if it's not, I will gift you my Simon and Garfunkel one step that nobody wants. Right.
Hey Steve, can you put up Boot Trader Vinyl Visits thing about Dynaflex? You see that?
Patrick, do you see it? I don't see it.
I don't see it either. Hang on, let me scroll up. Here we go. Right here.
It's up away.
You took it down.
Yeah, you just had it.
Sorry.
Maybe Patrick knows. There's a lot of those RCA orange labels that don't have Dynaflex, but they seem to be
Just give them the shake and you'll find out, man.
You get
a little Dynaflex didgeridoo sound, you know.
Yeah, so I have a bunch that do say the little Dynaflex on the bottom, but they sound great.
There's nothing wrong with Dynaflex as long as they're flat. You're good.
Yeah.
The Lou Reed Transformer was Dynaflex, and it sounds.
You can throw if you get like a really crappy one you're going to throw away. Get like a steamer and hit it with the steam. You can just watch that thing curl up and then fall back down. It's like
what he's asking: do all Dynaflex LPs have the Dynaflex written on them? They will on the very back of the. Not all the time. I thought they're in the back.
No, I mean, there's some that weren't Dynaflex that were cut Dynaflex super light that weren't even RCA. RCA wasn't the only company that had like.
So there's
light.
ones that don't even. Okay.
Yep.
So I know my original Guess Who's are all Dynaflex and my David Bowie's, but I believe it says it on the back of the album even. It's a Dynaflex pressing, if I'm not mistaken. Those sounded good. I mean, I know there's been debates over the years about the sound of the Dynaflexes, but
there's a couple of Harry Nielsen's that sound really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have those too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And my original Guess Who I thought sounds great. The American Woman. Amazing.
Yeah.
But it's funny when you've had a Dynaflex of a record and you find one that's not Dynaflex and you go, wow, this feels like so different. It's like holy crap. Like I found a Guess Who that was like almost super had a lot of weight to it. And I was like, oh wow, this feels so different.
So I went to a local records shop the other day, and I think Tim, you mentioned you got that Flock of Seagulls for like a few dollars, right? I found this one for $3 Canadian, and it's I guess considered an audiophile. It's a half-speed mastered. It's called "Rockin' on the Airwaves," and it's the worst sounding record I have. It's sort of some best hits of some Canadian
compilation.
Bands.
I have that. Yeah.
And
is that a Canadian K-Tel?
Yeah. So it's not K-Tel. It's CBS Direct.
Yeah.
So they have Loverboy, Turn Me Loose, The Boys in the Bright White Sports Car, but it's all over the place. The sound. It's not evenly. It's just one track might be sound a lot higher. The other one sounds lower. It's.
Are you saying there's a dropout?
I'd say there's dropouts on this. Absolutely, it sounds awful, muddy, and just the. And so $3 Canadian. I can use it as a frisbee. Just go like this. So yeah, half-speed mastered CBS Direct. I was like, I'll try it out. So I played it once. It's got Burton Cummings' "Fine State of Affairs," which I've always liked that song. I'm a big Burton Cummings fan, being from Winnipeg. So. But just crappy, brutal. Like I said, I'm going to play fetch with my dog with it later. $3. You have this one?
I have it. Somewhere in the back room. I have a separate record room.
Yeah. Not a big fan of it as well. What do you guys want to see down the pipeline from all these different reissue companies? I mean, Rhino, we know, has got a massive catalog with Warner. Obviously, we'd all want to see the Black Sabbath catalog. No, the box set in July will not be Black Sabbath. It won't be the Smiths, and it definitely will not be Led Zeppelin.
I hope they keep going with Black Sabbath. I want to see Master of Reality next. I wish that would be on Wishlist. Yeah.
But was Master of Reality is one that was just recently done by Ryan K. Smith at Vinyl Me Please, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
He did a really good job. I think it was Chris Bellman. Was it Bellman or was it Ryan K.
Oh,
Smith?
I thought it was Smith.
I have it, but I don't remember.
But there's been nothing but great things about
Yeah.
that record. So I mean, I think if Kevin has a shot at it, that'd be great. And I don't know. What do you think, Matt? Do you think Master of Reality will sell out as quick as the Paranoid record?
I don't think quite as fast because Paranoid is like the staple Sabbath.
Well,
album.
that's their best sounding record, right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
one.
You are correct, sir. It was Ryan K. Smith. So
Okay.
my bad.
Right.
And I don't believe we already answered this, though, Tony. They have not announced. AP has not announced all the 75 titles yet, as far as I know. But we'll see.
I also am still hoping for Jane's Addiction. Nothing shocking. That's come up many times
From the Rhino High.
The Rhino High Fidelity.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
How about the first
and
edition?
the Smiths? I guess there's a lot of Smiths talk. There's a lot of Echo and the Bunnymen talk as well.
Yeah.
People suggesting that.
The first Jane's was not on Warner. It was on a.
Is it hard to get Echo and the Bunnymen records though?
No.
I mean,
They're on
Of course
Sire.
not.
Yeah, Sire Records.
They're everywhere.
they're pretty plentiful.
Is Sire Warner Brothers or no?
It is part of Warner Brothers. Yes.
Okay.
They were on. Weren't they on like something like DIN in Canada or some DI DIN?
It was part of
something?
Warner though. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what were they in England? They were on.
There's another one, The Cure.
They were on Version, I think. They were on Version.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, didn't Patrick did say though there was a 50th anniversary to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the record. So that one apparently is coming out later this year.
So that would have come out in 75.
75, yeah.
Okay.
1975. Huh.
So 75, 50th anniversary this year.
Well, it
So
ain't come
Rhino-
taste the band.
So
That's-
Rhino Hi-Fi is putting that one out sometime later on in the fall, I think. So for anyone who wants to guess, there you go.
Come
Look at
taste the
everything-
band was 1975.
Look at
but
everything that
nothing
was
to
released in 1975, and I would probably think it's got to be something that's going to sell. They don't want to sell 500 copies or 1,000
Well,
copies.
Come Taste the Band wouldn't sell, so that puts
So-
that out.
You got to think of something that's going to sell 5,000.
Reprise, is that Warner?
It is Warner
Yes.
Reprise. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
Fleetwood Mac sell
Fleetwood
time.
Mac? No, they're not going to do that.
Would it be Fleetwood Mac? Yeah. How about Neil Young, maybe?
Have they done any Neil Young? And Neil does his own reissues.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I
Is
know. Maybe I don't.
Arista Warner?
Arista.
I don't think they are Warner. No.
No.
don't
Patti
know.
Smith Horses would have been then.
Yeah. Who are they associated with?
Well, we did. You know what? We haven't talked about this.
Zuma, but Zuma's not going to sell by Neil Young. That's not a big album.
I think these record labels want things to sell. They can't have, a big inventory, right?
How
We didn't
about
talk-
Fandango?
We didn't talk
Who
about
by numbers?
We didn't talk about this. Heart has come out. Mobile Fidelity. Anyone gonna grab that one? The Mobile Fidelity Heart record. I have is it the Nautilus, Michael? I think I have.
Yeah, I have the
one.
Nautilus.
That was recorded in Vancouver, and all copies, even the OGs, sound great. I
The
think it was
originals
a
are
really,
good too,
really
yeah.
good recorded record. So I don't
I
expect
think it was
this one to
kind of
not sound good.
Yeah, it was kind of Kendon, I believe.
There's so many versions of the OG, and this is blasphemy, but I've told Kevin Gray this, but the Friday music of Dreamboat Annie is my go-to Dreamboat Annie.
Ah.
That thing that Kevin cut is absolutely
So is
stunning.
Friday's music is digital files, though, aren't they?
Depends, but I
Yeah.
mean, whatever he got. I mean, he even said that like towards the end he got really shitty sources, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I
he-
remember him saying
hit or
that.
miss. But that thing sounds. I think Little Queen sounds great too. But man, Dreamboat Annie. I mean, you can probably get that thing for a song nowadays. Probably give it a shot. I'm telling you, man, it's super.
I have
crazy good.
recommended Deep Purple to Rhino Hi-Fi people as well. Maybe not a box, but I said, hey, some of the Deep Purple stuff would do really well. There's a lot of fans of Deep Purple who want to see it on the Hi-Fi.
I wish
that
they
would
would
be a good
really. They need to really go and get the right sources. If
You
they're
know,
going to do Deep Purple.
What about Red Hot Chili Peppers' Blood Sugar Sex Magic? That's an awesome album. I
Yes,
would love to see that.
Charlie. No, I have the cut. Nautilus cut
I
that.
cut twice. They had two cuts of it. There's two different cuts of Dreamboat
Oh.
Annie on Nautilus. There's one that's better than the other.
Oh God, which ones? I got to find out which one I have now. Thanks a lot. Oh, what's
Yes, there's two separate ones.
Oh, the DBX. Yeah, there's two.
No,
the
not
DBX. Oh,
not
no.
including the DBX. Irregardless of the DBX,
Okay.
there's two separate
So there's three
Nautilus.
cuts. So there's three cuts then, because there's a
Yeah,
DBX.
with the DB, I don't count the DBX.
Was that cut by Jack Hunt?
I don't think he cut that. I'd have to go. I've had it
go look.
before,
Yeah.
but
I think that like I said, like Thomas, I have the half speed Dreamboat Annie Nautilus. It sounds great. It really does sound good.
I think one of them has like an E something. I'd have to go look it up. Yeah.
Hart played at Bill's high school dance back in the day. That's cool. Love it.
Did you hit on Nancy? That's what I would have done.
But I think that was just a really well recorded.
I don't think I wouldn't have
produced
succeeded,
record.
of course, mind you, but
Patrick, you didn't have game back in high school? What do you mean?
Oh hell no, man! I was too shy, way too shy.
Seriously?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
I had to get seriously hammered to talk to a girl I didn't know.
And it's pretty hard at a high school dance unless you're hiding the beer and the
Not at my high school.
no.
No.
I'm just looking at some of the other comments. I want to see what other people want from some of these labels going forward over the next over half a year now. We got a long time.
I want
to go.
Vertigo to find all of their tapes and all their sources and just gather them all into one.
So
like,
why doesn't Vertigo
like one ring?
You would think that Vertigo would know the demand for their tapes. Like, let's talk Black Sabbath for one, and just go and get the Vertigo and get them redone. Why couldn't they do that?
Are
you've
Vertigos,
got early.
are they around? They might not be around anymore. Are these
I
Vertigo
think they're
around?
part of Universal. They got bought by Universal, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, people in power don't think they're worth it. I mean, you've got early Rod Stewart. You've got all those Vertigo swirls that cost thousands of dollars, like Cressida. Some of that shit's really bad. But I mean, there's a couple of Uriah Heeps that are on Vertigo. There's so much stuff out there. War Horse, Affinity.
But again, you got to sell records, so you got to look to the masses, right?
Well, I mean, it's going to sell probably. I would say that they would probably do as good as maybe television. I don't know.
We haven't talked about Buster Poindexter. He just passed away. David Johnson, lead singer of New York Dolls. MoFi's coming out with a New York Dolls cut. Any thoughts on buying it? You guys fans of that genre and of that time period of that music?
I don't buy MoFi anymore.
It's totally different though. MoFi went in a completely different direction with the New York Dolls, didn't they, Tim?
Yeah, I've got an OG that I like. I mean, it's not. It's nowhere near an audiophile record. So I guess it'll be interesting to see. I guess they'll kind of.
Does yours have the custom label, or is it on the Skyline label? So there's the original. I think had the custom label, and then they went out on the Skyline label.
I'll have to look.
So yeah, you're right, Patrick. Vertigo was operated by Universal, according to Thomas.
I mean, if you put up I tell you, if you put up 500 Cressida Vertigo swirls up there, they will sell immediately. 100%. I mean, I know every one of them sells on eBay, like immediately, and that's $1,000 record.
Think if Vertigo reissued the Dire Straits with Black Sabbath, that would sell.
The Dire Straits stuff sounds great on Vertigo.
I have
Vertigo
a couple of
sounds
Vertigos.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's the first one, and Love Over Gold especially. Yeah.
I have an OG of that album, Love Over Gold. It sounds so good.
The early Rod Stewart's on Vertigo. It's amazing.
Here we go, David. Thank you, Jack Hunt. Cut.
That's what I thought.
Nautilus.
Yeah.
There you go. You got the original. That's the OG with the custom cover. Yes.
Yeah.
Hang on, I want to see that. Hold on, put that up for the folks. This is cool. Boom. I love the label. It's lipstick. If anyone didn't catch that.
Great record.
Yeah.
Definitely not audiophile.
No.
Didn't Todd Rundgren do that, or was that Todd Rundgren, or
Might have been.
did he do the second one?
Yeah, produced by Todd Rundgren. Yep.
Yeah.
Too bad David's not around to see that, huh? He just passed, I think it was early this month or previous month.
Yep. They'll probably get inducted. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If not, they'll probably get inducted now. They're all dead. So.
Right.
Well, you're talking
Way
Phil
to go,
Collins.
way to go,
Phil
Rock and
Collins
Roll Hall
is
of
not
Fame.
in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so does it really
should be.
matter? I know, right? So yeah, so that was cut by Jack Hunt, the Nautilus Dreamboat Annie, and that would have been half speed, right? Those are the half speed ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they did have speed. Did they?
Was that a half speed? I don't have it. I can't remember if it was.
I think they did.
I think some of them were. I know the Nautilus
They were.
I want to
don't
say
think they all were.
the Fleetwood Mac Rumors might not have been half speed. I think there's a
Yep.
few that
Look
were.
what it says right here. Half speed.
They
Says on
did
the
say
very
it. So were
top.
they all half speed?
Do they all say half speed?
I can't remember now. So was the Fleetwood Mac Rumors half speed?
I don't think the Allman Brothers was half speed, was it?
So apparently they were all half speed.
I think they're all half speed.
Oh, some of them were. Some of them, like I know there was one. I think it was the Rumors was a digital cut. Like turn it around.
But it was still half speed. Yeah.
Read the back for the folks.
It says
what does it say about
digitally remastered.
digital remastered? But like the Neil Young Harvest was not digital remastered. That was from the analog tapes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Anyway.
A lot of people are saying the OG Dreamboat is a killer record, and it is. And I don't know.
It is a great record.
Mo-Fi's will sound great, but if you've got an OG, you need the upgrade or supposed upgrade.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
To be determined.
And that will be.
So I don't think that I don't think Zenyatta Mandata was half speed.
So so you're not saying all the Nautilus were half speed. But David's saying they were, but I it's hard.
Well, I'm looking now. It doesn't say all the other ones that say half speed say it, but Zenyatta Mandata doesn't have it listed as it. At least the other ones were listed as half speed.
Michael Green saying Cream all analog audiophile. I mean, is there a huge demand for Cream these days?
I also don't think the Allman Brothers were half speed.
Oh yeah, this says it on the label. Doesn't say it on the cover, but does on the label half speed. Anyway.
Charlie White saying I don't think Ghost in the Machine was half speed, but you're saying it was?
It was. It has it on the label. It doesn't say it on the cover, but if you look at the label, it says half speed mastered.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the 79.
Oh yeah, you're right. So the Fillmore
Thomas is saying the
half speed.
79 Nautilus Dreamboat was mastered by Patrick Collins.
Yeah, Patrick Collins was at Ken Dunn. He reached out to me. He did the original Katie Lied at Ken Dunn.
Okay.
Anyway.
Which before the UHQR came out, I believe that was one of the best sounding Katie Lied records, was the Kendom one.
Right.
At Columbia Santa Maria.
And that was by Patrick Collins.
Right.
I have a Columbia Santa Maria Kendon Patrick Collins that is still to this day is my favorite version.
And you're talking Katie Lied, Steely Dan.
Yes, I am talking Katie Lied.
We're talking Steely Dan. Oh my gosh.
I didn't bring it up.
There might be a show where we don't mention Steely Dan. That would be amazing.
You keep saying that, it never happens.
I've done it before. How about?
Well, you're the one who started it with that freaking commercial for Josh. So there you go.
Didn't Josh wanted everyone to show he has an original AD?
So if he's gonna do Steely Dan, he needs to be up here to take the heat for doing it. So
well, bring him up next time. I mean,
you're taking the blame. So I'm gonna have to send him a message and say, hey.
Well then Tim went and put up Katie Lied. So I mean, what can you do?
I could go get. I have a UK 12-inch 45 from Steely Dan. Should I go get it?
I've got that one. No, I can show you CSN for Analog Production 75. This is an audiophile record. This sounds
great. Heard that. Yeah. I heard it sounds
really good. Dark Star, great. Shadow Captain, great record. Underrated CSN album. Very underrated.
John Banny has anyone seen the Westbound interview with the person who's doing the archiving? Pretty interesting.
So how many years before we're going to see that analog frickin' maggot brain there, John?
Good album. And then there was an EDM and KM press variants by Jack Hunt for Dreamboat. So is that the one? That's what you're talking about, Patrick? The different variants?
And at Patrick Collins, you said too.
So KM, they did all the Nautilus cuts, and they're all translucent. It's like a special vinyl compound.
It's like Quiex.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine when I hold it up, you can see through it.
Right.
I love the mushroom label. Let's show everyone that.
Mine has the Europa disc. Actually, mine has the Europa.
I want to see the mushroom label.
Yeah, I'll put it back up. Mine has the EDP, the Europa disc stamp on it too, and it was cut by Jack Hunt.
Love it.
You can almost tell it's translucent, even on
yeah, you can there. Right there, you can. You caught the light.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
And
must have sold quite a bit if they cut it so many times by different places.
There you
Look
go.
at
Yeah, I can see
Oh,
that. I can see it
hang
coming
on,
through
hang
there.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we do a show where we just hold records up and look through them?
For an hour?
I can do that with a KD Lang too. We can
I've
hold that up.
got about an hour and a half video I'm working on that.
That'd be awesome.
Early Elton John, you can do it.
Yeah, you can get 50,000 views just holding up records and looking through them.
And you can get every iteration of the cover of
Yeah.
and like
Well, this was another one. I checked this one when I got home.
I go to record stores and they go, "What are you doing?" I'm always showing. I put records up to the light.
Patrick, did you ever listen to the Rhino Reserve, the Eddie Hazel that came out just a month?
Yeah,
or
I
two ago?
recorded it. It was okay. It wasn't as good as the original. Yeah.
But the originals are going for a lot, right, on Discogs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bad. So
DMM cut. I remember years ago the debate about DMM cuts, and I've never had a real issue with the sound of those.
I think
thought
the
they were
early
pretty
stuff
good.
was a little brittle when they first started. I think it was a little brittle, and then they as time went on they mastered it. So I think isn't GZ all DMM?
They have 6 DMM lathes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, they have one lacquer lathe, but you have to request it. They default to DMM. So any new release from GZ is going to be DMM, yeah.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, there's less steps in the process, so it's more efficient. That's why they want DMM lathes.
And you can cut more onto it because
can, yes, yes.
it's a copper or whatever. I can't
Yes,
remember.
yes.
I don't know.
It's a copper disc, yes, yes.
Yeah. So if you have like a 15-minute record, it's best to go DMM.
But all
more
DMM lathes are
advantageous.
now in Europe, right? There's none in the United States. Is that my understanding?
They're the only ones in the U.S. are owned by the Church of the Latter-day Saints.
Right. So that's probably they're probably not
bizarre.
going to cut a Black Sabbath album DMM there.
No.
I would assume, right?
No,
Probably
it'll be Ron Hubbard's greatest hits, right?
Oh, that's Scientology.
Yeah. Actually, I got it backwards. It was not. Yeah, it is Scientology.
Okay.
I got the wrong
Right.
organization.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Ron Hubbard. That's who it is. It's not actually. Yeah. And they have two DMM lathes, from what I understand.
Wow.
They're actually, you know what they've done? They're taking all his teachings and they're cutting them to DMM, and they actually made a turntable that's hand wound that works. That way, if anything ever happens, somebody can listen to them.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Well, going back to DMM though, remember the original Nirvana Nevermind is a DMM cut.
Yeah.
Sonic Youth Goo DMM cut.
Yep.
Who mastered those? Do you guys remember?
Howie Weinberg.
Howie Weinberg. Doesn't get enough credit. I think he did a
Hey,
great job.
He's always the guy that comes in after the original cut and like does like the second pressing and stuff like that. It's like he does a great job.
Does a great job. Rage Against the Machine, self-titled. That was a Howie Weinberg DMM cut that I have. Original. Sounds great.
The promo is Robert Ludwig though.
What's that?
The promo of that is Robert Ludwig.
Okay. And then we have, April 4th is coming up. So next Friday, right? Tracy Chapman's reissue. I think a lot of people pre-ordered that. So that'll be interesting to hear the comments and the reviews on that one versus their original Robert Ludwig. Same.
When is that coming out? Next Friday?
April 4th, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I guess it'll be shipped at that time. So that'll be interesting to hear the comments there. I doubt you're going to get a lot of difference. I really do. I mean, they're using the same analog tape that was EQ'd by Robert Ludwig. I mean, I guess we'll see. I really like my original.
So did you want to rant?
Wait, I don't call it a rant with you, and I don't care if you don't like it. I'm going to call it this because I have it up. You know what I'm going to call it. I want a good one. I've been waiting all week.
Oh, you know what? I mean,
Hold on.
This just happened to me. This just happened.
This
right
is
when we did
not
this.
a rant. These are called PBThal prattles. I know you hate it,
Okay.
but that's what they're called.
All right. Well, okay, whatever. You can call it what you want.
Let's go.
It's your show. All right.
you.
So the coolest thing, these are going to, in my opinion, these are the two coolest records that's going to be shown today. But I just got these in the mail. These are the Plugz album.
Tell us what we're looking at.
These are the Plugz. They were a punk band, LA. They became the Cruzados. Really, really hard albums to find. So ordered these. They came just a minute ago. They were in a so here's what it looks like. See this? See people that put tape on and put the records in between here and then put tape across that. Don't ever do that.
They were
Don't
trying. They
ever,
were
ever
trying.
do
You got to
that.
give them credit for trying,
Look,
though.
well, one of the records wasn't in a sleeve, so the tape could get on the label. Look at, yeah, don't ever do this. Never, ever, ever. Don't.
But they were
That-
trying. Give them a little bit of credit.
The band you're talking about went on to be the Cruzados, you said? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember they had a song called Motorcycle Girl, right?
The Plugz?
But no, the Cruzados.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was about 88, 89, yeah.
So, and also I hate those Japanese, those high price covers that the flip back with the sticky stuff on it. Sticky stuff and album covers should never be used together. Never, ever, ever. Yeah.
You mean the sticky flaps? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I sat one down one time, and someone let me an original Noi album on Brain, and I accidentally set it down, and it caught on the sticky shit and like tore a piece of it. Oh my god, so horrible. Yeah, I would totally go for a Captain Beyond Audiophile, but that's on Capricorn. I don't know who owns Capricorn. Polydor. Who owns Polydor? I don't think it's Warner.
Going back to that Plugz album, did they do La Bamba? Was that band that did
No.
La Bamba?
Well, yeah, I think they did.
I think they did a real fast version of that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. It was on Repo Man. They did it on Repo. They were on Repo Man.
There you go. Put those up again for folks. I think that's a really cool. It's a Latino band, right, from LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're from LA.
Yeah, the Repo Man soundtrack is what Chris Dash was saying.
Yeah, that's so. Aiken is the big song from them that the people know. Aiken to break your heart.
And that's
This is the other one. These are not easy to find.
Which ones are they again? Just tell us which. But Bob Dylan did something with the Plugz as well back in the late mid 80s.
This is Electrify Me by the Plugz.
Dylan used them as his backup band on Letterman. It was amazing. It's on YouTube.
Okay. And there's Better Luck by the Plugz.
It's legendary.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a cool cover, man. Those guys look like they're ready to do business, man.
Right. I think I've seen that one once. I should have bought that.
Yeah, those are not cheap now.
Yeah.
I think you probably jacked up the prices if they're on Discogs just right now.
Well, okay, I can make it up to people. If I just jacked up the cost and cost of money, I can save you money. The most audiophile thing I have done this year is buy this cartridge right here.
Tell us about it. Is it the Denon?
This is the Denon. This
All
is the Denon DL 103 modified by Andy Kim.
$500.
$550. Boron cantilever, micro ridge stylus. That Denon musicality that's been running for 60 years. Notice how I can never do this. Notice how the front has been the face has been taken off of it.
Put it back up again.
All right.
He puts new bodies on him, right? They all do. They all put
no, he takes the front off.
Oh, the front.
Okay.
And he replaced the cantilever and the stylus, right?
Yeah. This thing is so interesting enough. So you had Jim on here, Jim from Record Collector News on here last week, right? So Jim bought one of these and he texted me on Saturday and he said, I just put my Umami Red up for sale. This thing blows it out of the water. I cannot believe it. I'm going to buy 2 more right now. So this is, I'm telling you, man, don't sleep on this, man. $550 and I guarantee you're going to sit there and go, I cannot believe this sounds this good. I mean, it is absolutely stunning.
Then I have to go out and get an MC phono stage, you know.
you can get a step-up transformer. You can get a 1 to 10 winding step-up transformer, and you're good to go. So
Andy Kim is based out of Sacramento, I believe. I met him one time.
He actually lives like 5 minutes from me. I've been to his house twice.
Yeah, he used to be out in Seattle, where I am over here.
Yeah, he did. So I got a hold of him, and I was going to have him. Going to have him put a microline on my Art 9 that I've been using, and so I said, so are you still in Bellevue? He's like, no, I'm in El Dorado Hills, California. I said, dude, you're like 5 minutes from me. He's like, going, well, come over. I want you to hear this Denon card. I said, all right, whatever. So he sat down and I listened to it. I was like going, holy shit. So yeah, I bought 3 of them.
So they're at Denon DL 103 is what you
have. And look, Steve, we have a person who already used him. Cranberry Sauce says Andy Kim did a great job on my Giuseppe Purple Heart.
There you go.
That's a great cartridge too.
It's a DL 103, but he puts on a boron cantilever and a microline stylus. The weakness of the original DL3 is the spherical stylus to me.
It's a conical, yeah.
It's conical.
So
And
the story
so-
on the 103, it was made for broadcast use in Japan. That's how it started off in the early 60s.
Yeah, I mean they hand make them in Japan still.
Yeah, yeah.
How much does Andy Kim charge then? How does that work for so everyone knows?
To retip, it was probably about the same. It was probably about $500, I would assume.
Yeah, and it varies. Retippers vary depending. Do you want like a Fritz Geiger stylus? Do you want a microline? Do you want boron? Do you want aluminum? It depends on the cantilever material, you know?
But I'm telling you, man, if you, instead of retipping your old cartridge, just get one of these for $550. I'm telling you, this is the most musical, tuneful cartridge I've ever heard. It's almost like you're listening to music and you can just feel the smile going on your face when you're listening to it. I swear to God, I've never had that visceral experience like when listening to this. I'm telling you, it is something to believe.
Well, you have.
I'm not getting paid for this. I got no. I mean, I just think it's a great value, man. I mean, for $550, that's dead cheap for a cartridge like that. You know, so
a value audiophile cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be. I'm telling you, it's going to be the thing. I'm gonna actually contact John Darko and say, hey, review this. So
Cool.
That'd be cool.
he owes me a favor.
Wow. So anything else you guys are looking at buying that's out there right now? Are we all like out of money from all these chasing all these audiophile reissues?
I did buy the
Verve cartridges.
I bought the Verve Acoustic Sounds Gets a Go Go, and this sounds pretty awesome. This
Who
was
did
cut
that
by Matthew Luthen's cut at the Mastering Lab, so it sounds fantastic. So but we had Matthew Luthen's a show about a month and a half ago or so. So yeah, from the original original tape and press a QRP, super sounding record. Yeah, definitely worth getting.
I asked him about the DL103R, and he said I can't remember what he told me. He said he preferred to do the DL103 than to the R. So I can't remember what the
would he
reasoning
do
was.
the R? Is what they're?
I'm sure he would.
Okay.
I'm sure. But he'd probably try to talk you into the DL103. He tries to. He's very persistent.
RSD Day, RSD Record Store Day here in Canada, where I live, is not a big deal. I don't really get much, so I don't really bother with it. Does anyone still line up for it? Remember during COVID, people lined up for Record Store Day?
Seattle,
Does that still happen?
Yeah, in Seattle they do.
Okay.
There's a local record store that they hand out free bacon while you wait in line called Easy Street.
Cooked bacon or
cooked bacon. They walk around and give you bacon while you're waiting in line.
What happens if you're a vegan?
That'd be awesome.
What happens if you're a vegan?
Because they have a cafe too. They have a cafe part of the record store.
Mazzy lines up. He gets up at 4 o'clock in the
He
morning.
does. Yeah.
And heads to Canada. He's having his birthday party in Canada, so he's becoming a Canadian almost. So. I wasn't invited, of course.
There's a few things on that list. There's a replacements remix of that Tim record that came out in the big.
I have that one. I did a review on that one.
Now they've broken it out, so I'm going to pick that up.
That one's awesome. They did a whole remix of the Tim.
Right.
And did a really good job on that one, and used different parts of that record to basically put it into the album. It was really cool.
There's a cool George Harrison 45 Beck on the other side, flip side, the same song. I can't remember. I'm going to pick that up.
Look at Michael. He's frozen. Look at that. Look at just a stoic.
He's happy
portrait.
though. Look,
If
he's gonna go, he's gone happy.
Can you imagine if that was it for him? That was it. That's his last time we ever saw him. He just texted me. He goes, "My computer just crashed." So he probably just didn't pay his internet bill.
He's like going, "Get to go."
It's not Mazzy's birthday, Patrick.
Okay.
It's the Neptune Records guy. And
All
speaking of
whatever.
the Neptune Records guy, he was on the news in Vancouver because in his collection he found out he's got a 1-to-1 copy of the Beatles Decca recordings that they did when they tried out for Decca before Decca didn't decide to sign them. So he's got the 1-to-1 master tape of that apparently. So that was all over the news. So
wonder what that's worth.
He says he wasn't going to sell it.
People say a lot of things before they get offered.
I mean, what would that be worth? If it was a 1-to-1 Decca tape, what would that be worth?
It's one of two, maybe.
You're invited, Patrick, if you want to come up to Canada, to Vancouver. Bill will be there.
I think I might be in New Zealand.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So how much did the White Album #1 go for? How much did Ringo's go for?
So that was bought by the guy that owns Indianapolis Colts, the football team.
Yeah.
And he's a huge collector of just crazy
Guitars.
expensive stuff.
He does
He's
guitars.
got
and gives it
Beatles
to people.
guitars and
Right.
Ringo's drum kit from I don't know when that was.
Whatever
so-
that sold for, I would imagine that 1-to-1 tape would sell as much or maybe more.
You think so, huh? Well, it's just White Album. I don't know. What do you think it sold for?
$1 million?
I think it was $790,000.
Wow.
I could see that Decca tape going for $1 million.
The 00001 was sold $790,000.
Michael, yeah, echo cancellation on or
So Michael, I think you're hooped on that. He's on his phone and it's
Yeah, my computer crashed, so I'm resetting it. I don't know what happened. I'm on my phone.
Well, last week when I had my show,
How the hell are you going to authenticate that 1-to-1 copy? You know.
I heard, I've seen people review that. It sounds really, really good. The sound quality is pretty awesome on it.
so,
not
yeah.
good enough to get a record deal.
But yeah, so Patrick, I know that Decca tape 1-to-1 wouldn't be worth $750,000 or $790,000. Maybe sell it to the Indianapolis Colts owner. Maybe he wants
Why not?
it.
It's one of one.
Well, Mazzy's saying, how do you authenticate a 1-to-1 copy tape?
I have no idea.
Well, because you don't have the original to compare to.
Who do you go to? Do you go to Paul McCartney and say, "Hey, Paul, tell me about this"? He wouldn't know.
Yeah, Apple should buy it. Then they'll put out 10 versions of it, half mastered next year.
Well, it's Decca. That's the thing, right? Could you imagine if Decca signed them after that, and they didn't have George Martin? Because George Martin, I think, was obviously the fifth Beatle, and a huge reason why, of course, they became what they were. I'm not saying they wouldn't still become what they were, but I think it would have made maybe a different direction the Beatles would have gone to if they went with Decca and not EMI. I don't think anyone would debate that.
I'm telling you, that tape would go for big money, huge money.
There could be many copy tapes. Possibly.
But I mean, the Decca passed on them. How long would they keep those tapes around?
Well, how did the Neptune Records guy get it? I don't know how he got it. He must have just bought a collection.
He said he found it in tapes he bought years and years ago. He didn't think that it was anything valuable, and he just played it, and he found out it was.
So they have 15 songs, and I remember that, and some of them are unreleased tracks.
Yeah.
The Money song is on there, of course.
Tim, you have to say it. You can't type it.
I just... We'll go the Beatles. We haven't talked about the Beatles for a while. The whole remix thing. I mean, I guess we're waiting for Revolver, not Revolver, Rubber Soul. But I don't know. I'm not buying it.
No, I'm not.
I'm done with the remix.
Done.
I never play them. I tried 2 or 3. I don't like them.
Because if you have the Red Album,
I found this at the record show last week.
How much was it?
Oh, nice.
It was 30.
Horseshoe. Is that the 1973 Horseshoe Magical Mystery Tour?
Yep. $30? Jeez.
Yep.
Oh.
Wow.
We have a record show in Seattle this coming Sunday. I'm going to in Seattle Center.
Oh, it's this Sunday. I did tell you that. I did ask you that.
Yeah.
Intervention Records should tell Shane this. Should do Something's Happening by Frampton.
Yeah.
Really? Nobody's going to do. He's not going. No one's going to buy that.
They're like $30 for the Horseshoe Magical Mystery Tour. Patrick, come on.
It's got some hairlines, but it plays through. It sounds great. I mean, there's almost no crackle whatsoever.
So you're invited up to Vancouver.
I know. If I'm not, I would like to go, but I said I think I'll be in New Zealand. I do plan to go to record shopping in New Zealand for sure.
What are you doing in New Zealand, Patrick? What are you going there for? Vacation?
Yeah, just for a vacation. And my company has a big office in Christchurch, so I'll go there and hang out for a bit and then just go. But I had the record show in Davis for Jefferson. There was one in Davis, California, which is about 30 miles from me.
My phone arm I currently use was made in New Zealand, but it's called the Wand by a guy named Simon Brown, and they make them in New Zealand. Carbon fiber. Yeah.
Ron Rodriguez talking about Audiophile Records. Have you heard the 45 RPM reissue of Eva Cassidy's Live at Blues Alley? Has anyone heard that one? He says one of the best.
No, but I do like Eva Cassidy. Her version of People Get Ready is stunning. Tragic story about her.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it at that. I'm off to Toronto, Ontario tomorrow morning early, so I got to get packing for that. I haven't done that as well.
Go hit
but
those record stores.
I have no, that's the thing. You have no time when you're doing business trips and stuff. There's no time for any of that
Well,
stuff.
it's on Friday. Just like, hey, spend an extra night and then hang out
I'm
Saturday.
going to the Blue Jays game on Saturday. They're taking us there.
Well,
They bought us tickets for that. So I have
That's
no
like 3 hours.
Is leaving tomorrow on a business trip for 2 days. So all good.
So
Yeah.
I should plug this. You've heard of Billy Vera?
And the Beaters.
Billy Vera.
Vera.
Yeah.
You heard of him before?
Yeah, Dirty Dancing. Wasn't he Dirty Dancing?
No, it was that theme song off of Family Ties called "At This Moment." What would you think I would say at this moment? You know the song? And he was also
What do you think?
And the King of Queens TV show?
Yeah.
Okay, the theme song to that, I can't remember how it goes, but my lights just flickered. I'm going to be power off 2 weeks in a row. He did the theme song to that. Anyways, Billy Vera, incredible singer, did "At This Moment." He's going to be on my show, I believe April 19th. So there he is. A live chat with Grammy Award-winning singer Billy Vera with live viewer Q&A. April 19th, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Did you ever meet Michael J. Fox?
We're going to talk about that. It's going to be Grammy Award winner, and he won the Grammy for doing, I believe it was the liner notes for an album that he wrote in, not his own album, but yeah, I think it was a Ray Charles record that he did the liner notes for, and he won the Grammy for it. So I'll ask him about that. I'm going to ask him about the "At This Moment," of course, which is his big hit that came out, first of all, in 1981, and then it hit the charts and then sort of disappeared. And then all of a sudden, you got a call from the Family Ties producers, and they used his "At This Moment" song. And next thing you know, this thing was charting again.
Family Ties was
number one.
I thought Family Ties had a different theme song.
Oh, no, sorry. This wasn't the theme song, Patrick. This is one of the episodes, or two of the episodes of Michael J. Fox and his actual wife today in the show where
Tracy Pollan
were dancing, or just the
how the hell I remember Tracy Pollan's name? I have no idea.
Yeah, that's impressive. Anyways, Billy Vera from Billy Vera and the Beaters. He's been around a long time. Great singer. He'll be on the show. I got confirmation through his agent. Are you going to ask him about
Steely Dan?
He probably knows all the guys. I mean, he's an LA artist. I mean, we know. I don't know. We'll see. But
he might have gone in and played sang backup vocals for something.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. But there is, at one time, he was one of the most popular live acts around the LA area, and he would employ like more than one saxophone player. So he, at times on stage, he'd have like maybe 2, 3, even 4 saxophone players.
Is that D-Beatles? D-Beatles? Is that what you got? That sounds great.
Those the Horseshoe Beatles records sound, I haven't heard anyone really complaining about the sound of those ones. We'll have to see. And then, Michael Miles Scholl from Abbey Road is going to be on the program as well.
How soon is that going to be? When?
He just texted me today. I want to say April 13th, around there. That might be a Saturday afternoon type of thing. He just has to confirm with the studio as well. So yeah, I believe that's April. If April 13th is a Saturday.
A lot of people don't know this, but it's been in the works. He has an Ampex machine that he modified like Matthew Luthen's, where he has a preview head on it. So you can cut all analog.
I'm going to talk about that as well. Absolutely. Yeah. So that'll be fun as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having Billy Vera on, actual musician, talking about. He's got a lot of great stories too. So and he's written a book about his, a book as well. So he's probably it's going to be fun. So guys, definitely tune in for that and have some questions ready. Obviously, I won't be able to get all of them up, but I think it'll be a really fun episode for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to pack now. Off to Toronto. Watch the Blue Jays. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right, good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
All right, people.
Bye-bye.
Good to be here. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, guys.